Hi everybody, in this episode of Brain Snob, I want to talk about the COVID problem we ignore. Hi, I'm Dr. Lisa Ann Homick from Homick Advanced Chiropractic, and this is Brain Snob, episode number 113. I'm glad you are here. I came across a paper from the Annals of Medicine. It looks like it was published online November 4th, 2020. Here's the title. Admission hyperglycemia as a predictor of mortality in patients hospitalized with COVID, regardless of diabetes status. Data from Spanish semi-COVID-19 registry. So, I'm going to skip all the article. I'm on my phone because I didn't feel like printing it out right now. This is a retrospective multi-center study involving hospitalized patients in Spain. Patients were categorized into 3 groups according to admission blood glucose levels. So this is their level of blood glucose when they are admitted to the hospital. They were either less than 140 or 140 to 180 or greater than 180. And so they were talking about conclusions. Admission hyperglycemia is a strong predictor of all-cause mortality in non-critically hospitalized COVID-19 patients, regardless of prior history of diabetes. So, we focus a lot on diabetes because we know if you have high blood sugar and it's uncontrollable blood sugar, it is the precursor baseline foundation of all diseases. We have diabetes type 1 and type 2. You know what they are. Diabetes type 3 is now considered Parkinson's, and Alzheimer's is considered diabetes type 4. So we also know that cancer eventually is up there because glucose is the favorite fuel of cancer, and I'll talk about that in a minute. So the key message at the end of the article here, the author said, admission hyperglycemia is a stronger and independent risk factor for mortality in COVID-19. Screening for hyperglycemia in patients without diabetes and early treatment of hyperglycemia should be mandatory in the management of hospitalized COVID-19. Admission hyperglycemia should not be overlooked in all patients, regardless of their prior history of diabetes. So this is something that's important that I take seriously because, like I said, blood sugar that is not in the healthy range is the precursor for all diseases. It's going to set off inflammation, and it causes dysfunction and damage to every organ in the body. Now, that being said, I don't work in the emergency room. I am not a medical doctor. I don't deal with medical diagnoses. But as a chiropractor who understands the functioning of the brain and how the brain promotes body health and how nutrition is an important fuel for your body, I am going to talk about prevention. And prevention should be everything. It should be something done at every age. Let me mention 2 things about diabetes. Dr. Joseph Kraft has done a zillion, all right, I'm exaggerating, a lot of testing of blood glucose, and he says a regular blood glucose test is not adequate. In fact, he says it can be misleading. He notes that teenagers by age 19, 90% of them already have pre-existing prediabetes problem. Age 19, but nobody really worries about it until they're about age 40. And here's another thing. The blood sugar, see, your body is so good at correcting itself and getting things to normal that you can have prediabetes and not know, because your lab work is going to look great because your body works extra hard to overcome that constant stressor on the body. until you reach that point of no return, that point where your tissue resiliency cannot handle it anymore. So when you're young, we do all kinds of crazy things to ourselves because we think we're immortal, we've got plenty of time, we worry about it later, and blah, blah, blah. You wake up one day, you're in your 40s, you're in your 50s, and you go, oh my gosh, I shouldn't have done what I did when I was in my 20s and 30s. That's my message here. Take care of this when you're young. And it's not too late if you're not young, but your children need to know this. The other thing I wanted to add, blood pressure creeps up slowly long before your blood sugar creeps up slowly. So if you have high blood pressure, consider your high blood sugar. They go hand in hand. In fact, How to Cure Diabetes, Dr. Sherry Rogers, this is a great book to have. It actually helps you handle every pre-disease process. Remember, I don't focus on disease names. I just want your body to function well. But Dr. Sherry Rogers says, page 9, 3.5 years on diabetes drugs, the death rate is higher. And page 10 of her book, premature death is very common, but hey, your lab work looks great. So when you're medicated, your numbers look better. It's not influencing the actual tissue resilience of your organs and your cells and so on and so forth. So now, not everybody is keen on talking about diabetes because they think I'm not in the risk group or I don't have to worry about it. My weight is normal. I don't have signs of metabolic syndrome, but I want you to take it seriously. So here's another way to look at it. Let's look at the health of your mitochondria. If you concentrate on that, you're going to cover all the bases that I'm talking about here. COVID-19 and the presentation of it, and diabetes and blood sugar issues. So let's focus on mitochondria. I've got an article that I got a while back from Dr. Mercola, an interview with Rhonda Patrick about mitochondrial health, because she studies anti-aging with Bruce Ames, and he is a fantastic scientist who has said a couple of decades ago that if you don't have the right vitamins, your cells look like they're suffering from radiation poisoning. So nutrients are important and they affect your cells on that minute microscopic level. Anyway, this article, I love it so much. I just had to print it off again because I can't find my other copy. I think I've printed this off 3 times now, and I put it away in a folder in a notebook and I can't find it. So here it is, printed again, hot off the press. But here's the thing about mitochondria. Mitochondria are tiny inclusions in your cell, originally thought to be derived from bacteria. So that's their beginning part. But here's the thing about them. They comprise, let's get the words right, 15 to 50% of your cell's volume, a cell. And it's the source of over 90% of your body's energy. So if you don't feel too good right now and you're fatigued, think about your mitochondria and you've got a problem, because 90% of your body's energy comes from those cute little things, those mitochondria. Your mitochondria have enormous potential to influence your health, and specifically cancer. Now, diabetes can be a precursor to cancer. It's all just a worsening state of the body. So Rhonda Patrick talks a lot about cancer in this article, but let's talk about it pertaining to everything, our everyday health, and this pandemonium acute illness scenario that the country is dealing with right now. We can prevent. We should have been working on prevention decades ago. We've tolerated illness. We've tolerated with maintenance drugs. Remember, maintenance drugs, according to Dr. Sherry Rogers, not that great. You're going to look good on your lab work, but you are going to die prematurely. I'm quoting this from Dr. Sherry Rogers. let's talk more about the mitochondria. Dr. Rhonda Patrick says, it's either her or Dr. Mercola, I'm starting to believe that optimizing mitochondrial metabolism may in fact be at the core of effective cancer treatment. So I'm talking about cancer treatment based on this article, but once again, this is your everyday health. You've got to start when you're feeling good. Start now. Mitochondrial function is at the very heart of everything that occurs in your body. So let's focus on mitochondria. In fact, when I say move your brain, feed your brain, and talk to your brain in the BFA protocol, brain first always, what's good for the brain is good for the mitochondria, because what's good for the mitochondria is good for the brain. So there's overlap here. Do you see the method of my madness? So there's a section on how mitochondria produces energy. Just know that it does. There's a trade-off, however. When you're producing energy, your body also ages from the damaging aspects of the ROS, reactive oxygen species, that are generated. Just understand, when your cells work, there's waste products given off. Your body needs to be healthy enough to handle that. How quickly your body ages largely depends on how well your mitochondria work and how much damage can be minimized by diet organization. What can we do to help our mitochondria? Okay. I believe one of the best strategies for reducing mitochondrial free radical production is one, to limit the amount of fuel you feed your body. Now, this is very interesting here. This is a non-controversial position, as calorie restriction has consistently shown many therapeutic benefits. This is one of the reasons why intermittent fasting works, as it limits the window that you are eating and automatically reduces your calories. So fasting is beneficial to your mitochondria. It is particularly effective. Intermittent fasting is effective if you avoid eating several hours before going to sleep. So don't eat too close before bedtime. That is easy to do. It's easy to eat before bed. It's also easy to train yourself not to benefit your health. See, I grew up thinking eat whenever you need to, eat whenever you want, eat for fun, eat for entertainment, and now I realize we had that idea all wrong, and it's biting us in the behind, to say it kindly. So avoid eating several hours before going to sleep, as that is your most metabolically lowered state. A review paper that provides much of the experimental work for the above explanation was published in 2011, titled Mitochondrial DNA Damage and Animal Longevity. So we don't want to damage our DNA, and that's a simple activity to do, refraining from eating before bed. I focus on that one because it's kind of in our genes, so to speak. It's not really, but it's just something we tend to do because it's fun. So we got to get rid of that fun. So you'll want to avoid eating close to bedtime, because adding excess fuel at this time will generate excessive free radicals that will damage your tissues, accelerate aging, and contribute to chronic disease. So keep that in mind. Other ways fasting promotes healthy mitochondrial function is that your body will rely on lipids and stored fats for energy when you are not eating food. It means your cells are forced to use their mitochondria. Your mitochondria are the only mechanisms by which your body can make energy from fat. So fasting helps activate mitochondria. She also goes into more explanations about autophagy, where you are recycling your cells. When you give your body that rest period, you are going to get rid of the nasty debris that builds up that you don't want to have built up. Autophagy. You can look that up. I think I've talked about it in other videos as well. Now let's talk about the nutritional things that help the mitochondria. Here's some nutrients. CoQ10 or ubiquinol, the reduced form. being more specific, it's more bioavailable. L-carnitine, because it shuttles fatty acids to the mitochondria. D-ribose, which is a raw material for the ATP molecule. ATP is the energy maker. Magnesium, we know how important magnesium is. Omega-3 fatty acids and all the B vitamins, including riboflavin, thiamine, and B6, and alpha-lipoic acid, just important nutrients that help the mitochondria. Now, Rhonda Patrick says, I prefer to get as many micronutrients as I can from whole foods for a variety of reasons. So, of course, you've got to get them from whole foods. I could substitute the word real foods to benefit from that. But here's my example of other ways to get whole foods is through standard process whole food concentrates. See, whole is in their name, whole foods. So add to your program standard process supplements. I got them here in the office. They're actually whole foods, not some synthetic things that your body doesn't know what to do with. She also says taking a B complex supplement is good for that reason. Well, I have some Livoplex here from Standard Process. This is going to have the complex B vitamins and more. There's more B vitamins than we actually advertise on TV. So you get it all here in Livoplex. Why? Because it's actually coming from a whole food source. And exercise helps keep your mitochondria young. Remember, I teach people how to move their brain, feed the brain, and talk to their brains. And exercising, moving, is part of that healthy balance. Exercise promotes mitochondrial health as it forces your mitochondria to work harder. And she mentioned earlier, one of the side effects of mitochondria working harder is that they're making reactive oxygen species, and they act as a signaling molecule. So long story short, when you exercise, your body will respond by creating more mitochondria to keep up with the heightened energy requirements. So the more you exercise, the more mitochondria you have. And when mitochondria make up 90% of your energy, there you go. There is everything in a nutshell. So take care of your mitochondria. And like I said, when I talk about the mitochondrial aspect, it's going to automatically help you do better in the blood sugar department. So I just paused the video for a second because I wanted to look up one more study, because I wanted to mention ketosis that also benefits the mitochondria, and I wanted to find another article. So here is one published online November 19th, 2020. I don't know the name of this. Oh, Endocrinology and Metabolism. There's a journal actually called that. Endocrinology and Metabolism. So I want to talk more about I want to tie in blood sugar, diabetes, and mitochondrial health. And ketosis is another way that your mitochondria is benefited. And I gotta find where I was. Animal data indicate that ketogenic diets are associated with improved mitochondrial function. Human data is lacking, but they were looking at skeletal muscle and mitochondrial changes in response to a ketogenic diet combined with exercise training in healthy individuals. So they did a study with 29 physically active adults and measured all their metabolic vitals and etc., etc. So let's see. Where can I give you the summary? These results expand our understanding of human adaptation to a ketogenic diet combined with exercise. In conjunction with weight loss, we observed altered skeletal muscle, mitochondrial function, and efficacy, an effect that may contribute to the therapeutic use of ketogenic diets in various clinical conditions, especially those associated with insulin resistance. This is the preventive option to take care of your health, take care of your brain, your body, so you can be a productive, functioning member of society, as well as have decreased risk of what they're calling COVID-19, and where they're looking at high blood glucose levels is considerable. It's a significant factor in hospital deaths in COVID-19 patients. So my goal here is to give you some positivity, give you important information, because it's not about what's happening now and what the whole world is going through. You need to be taking care of yourself every minute, every day, every year of your life, regardless of what's going on in the rest of the world. And I have an inkling, I have an idea that probably your ability to detoxify junk in our atmosphere, in our soil, in our water, in our food is going to be a very important factor in how you respond to stress. Because we got a lot of stress in the world, and I don't think it's going to go away. All that being said, I invite you to learn the BFA protocol, Brain First Always, because I can show you how it correlates with all these topics that I've been talking about, especially how chiropractic improves your brain function, especially at the prefrontal cortex, so you can handle what life throws at you. If you want to do more for yourself, then get in a coaching program with me. It's called Brain Sense Telehealth, and check out the other videos on this YouTube channel and look at the Brain Sense Telehealth blog posts that I have put up, because I don't want you to fall through the cracks. I'm going to fill those cracks with you so you can take care of business and be a productive member of society, and we need your full participation. No excuses now. You are going to learn how to do what you're doing now, because you're doing great things, but you're going to learn to do it better. You've already got the tools. I'm going to help you learn how to use those tools more efficiently. Subscribe if you haven't, hit that like button, share this video, and figure out how to get brain sense. Thanks for watching.